Welcome. Let's say I am the lead front-end developer of Catflix and I need to add a new field to the UI which shows the runtime of the TV series or the runtime of the movie. And to achieve that, first I need to file an issue to the backend, so the backend team will develop the feature, make the change in the API to add that field, and then I'll go into the front-end team, make them develop the UI part of the feature, and then put them together and send it to the QA team, and they will verify that the feature is valid, etc., and will be shipped in probably a few weeks later when I wanted to do it initially. So instead of dealing with the backend API and the database, I can mock the backend API with Mockintosh such that I'll just do a pip install Mockintosh, and Mockintosh will be installed into my machine. And then I do a refresh, I look at what is going on in my traffic, I do a refresh, and I can see that we are using the API of the movie database org, so the endpoints are clear that we are using the version 3 of the API and requesting into the TV endpoint with the ID of the TV series apparently, and it returns this JSON as the response. And if I just prettify it, and if we look at that, it returns Narcos, which is the TV series featured in the home page at the top. And if I look at the result of this endpoint, which is the discover/TV, it shows me that a list of TV series. Okay, this list of TV series, and if I look at these requests, this is the trending /all/week, which probably also a list of this time movies, and these are the top rated. These are also movies. This is also the main endpoint to fetch the list of movies. So to be able to add that field, I need to add it into this JSON object. So I have coded the runtime, props movie runtime, to fetch the data, but the runtime field does not exist in this JSON object. So to be able to achieve that, I will instead mock these all endpoints, the API endpoints, using Mockintosh. So to do that, I have mock config YAML, and if you look at this YAML file, it starts with templating engine Jinja 2. Jinja 2 and Handlebars are the two alternatives of templating engines for Mockintosh, and we choose to use Jinja 2 in here. This management indicates that the port for the management UI that enables the management UI service. and then we define our services. So we have two services. First one is at the port of 8081, and the second one in the port of 8082. The first service, as you can see, consists of 5 endpoints. One is this, the other one is trending all week, movie top rated, discover TV, and a request matching endpoint that matches into TV / any ID. And if you look at the status codes, they all respond with 200, and they have application JSON content type header. They also return these external files as the body of the response. So if I look at the discover movie endpoint's response body, it is located in the resources folder, in here resources folder, and discover movie JSON J2. What we do in this mock is that we set page field into one hard-coded, and then we have from 0 to 100 elements of results, and these results are this JSON object, and we return adult true with 25% chance. We are using faker in here, fake boolean, 25% true. Set it to lower because it returns capitalized. Then we have backdrop path, which indicates an image in the API, and we are actually using our own service in here to redirect images from loremflickr.com. loremflickr.com returns random images. It's a prototyping service for putting random images into your website. So for every request that is made into localhost 8082, all requests are forwarded to loremflickr.com, and then the response is sent back. So this field means that we are calling loremflickr.com, and we are requesting a cat image, and this random field makes it unique images for each call to the loremflickr.com. And then in here we are getting with genres query string parameter, which is always sended in this kind of requests that indicates the genre types. So like action movies as a genre, comedy movies probably this 35 genre, horror movies 99, and documentaries have 27. And we are getting this genre from the requests with genres query string parameter and casting into an integer, and then creating a list on the fly, and I'm merging this list with a random choices list from these elements. And then we're making unique with the unique filter of Jinja2, and then turning it list. And then lastly, we are turning into JSON actually escapes what it is produced by this expression. So it is a list of integers eventually, but always contains which genres query string parameter. The ID is a random integer from between this range with step 1. Original language is a language code. By the way, we can also look at the original response from the actual API. So you can see that the image is kind of different because it's an actual image. Adult false, like genre IDs always contain 28. ID is a number integer, random integer it can be. Original language is a 2 characters long language identifier. The title is a fake text. Again, we are using faker with maximum number of characters 20. It ends with a dot because it acts like a sentence, so we are removing the last character in here, and then using the title helper of Jinja 2, making all words capitalized. And then for overview is an 1 or 2 sentence that describes the movie. So we are using fake sentence with maximum number words 10. Then popularity is probably a value that indicates how popular the movie is, and we are generating a random float number between 0.0 and 10,000.0 range with 3 precision. And for poster path, we are using again a quite similar thing in here that will fetch the poster path from Lauren Flickr, and release date, it's a random date, and title again, that's the same thing. We are marking a title in here. Is it video or not? It's a Boolean value and quite similar to this with 5% chance it is true. And there's voting apparently in the API, and we are marking it too from 0.0 to 10.0, and a vote count from 0 to 1000. So if I run this mock, you can see that it starts to serve at 8081 port, and if we look at 8081 with this request, but we will just put the last part, we'll replace until the org, yeah, and you can see that it is mocked such that if I do refresh every time, it will bring me different values always. But as you can see, 28 is always there because with genres is injected into the templating, so I can change the 29, and 29 will be there as the genre ID for all records. So as you can see, it is mocked quite nicely and fully mocked, this endpoint. These are also mocked. So right now my mocked API is ready. We have also these templating examples for different endpoints, but I will not go through them right now. So our mocked API is ready, and what I need to do in here is changing the API host and the image services with the proper mocked services. 8081 is the movie database API, and 8082 is the image service, and they are used, these environment variables are used in proper places in the front-end code. So if I rerun my Catflix website, you can see now that everything is now cat themed because we are returning cat images, and you can see now the featured movie name is Letter, and like you can click on this and it brings you a meaningless movie title, but the whole point is that we are now decoupled from the API purely. We don't need any API, even a staging API. We are just purely depending on the Mockintosh. And if you look at the log that is printed into this standard output, you can see how many requests are made into Mockintosh, and you can you can even use the verbose flag to see what's happening in Mockintosh in a greater detail. But it is quite verbose, and you should take your time to understand what's going on. So right now it's responding to all image requests. All images are now loaded, and it is now silent. So what was our main goal? Our main goal was to have a runtime field, right? But in the genres, yeah, because they have different templatings. So let's say we will have this runtime field. How can we add it? Yeah, so discover movie, come into here, add a runtime, and runtime will be a random integer, and it will from probably 20 minutes to, I don't know, like maybe 3 hours. So this is the runtime value. So since these resources, this resource files, which in this case is a response template, a response body template actually, are loaded on demand, so I don't need to refresh Mockintosh, and I just need to refresh my page, so they will be loaded with the new mocked API, the new template result. So in the new template result, you can see that we have now runtime field as 88. You can see that it was not existing before that, and like I can even change it to a huge value for some reason. Like maybe I'm checking what is going on in the UI. If the value is huge, I can change it to a huge value between 2000 and 4000, and you can see that actually in this one is loaded from a different point. The images are not coming. Sometimes laurenflickr.com does not respond efficiently. So you can see that it generates bigger runtime durations for the movies. So yeah, I can talk about one last thing, and it is the management UI. In the management UI, you can see that we have a Swagger UI that is generated out of our config YAML definition, and you can see the config in here, and you can change the files using this UI, and like you can make it into a proper value again, such that it will be a reasonable value, and the file is updated, and you can see that the mocked values are now again normal between 20 and 180. So this is the power of Mockintosh. I hope that you liked it. See you later again in a new video. Take care. Goodbye.